I developed a scalping strategy that shows perfect entry and exit opportunities on every single cryptocurrency. If you take a look at the chart, you will identify a lot of buy and sell signals on the chart. The buy signals are marked in red while the sell signals are marked in blue. As you can see as well, we have a background colors in the chart. The red color shows when the currency is overvalued and when the cycles are high, and it shows green stripe whenever the currencies are undervalued, and it might be a good opportunity to enter. The green and the red zones can be bigger like this one, or they can be smaller like this one. Now, this strategy is based on the cycle indicator, and as you can see, every single signal is actually a profitable one if you take a very clear risk management techniques in place. Now, the most basic way on how to trade it is you short when you see a blue icon and you long when there's a red icon. You simply short the side, you close the short, you open a long, and then you close the long once you reach the blue arrow, the first one or the second one, depending on your risk management preference. Now, the second way of actually using this strategy is opening a short and a long according to the arrows. However, your take profit price would be 1 to 2% after the trade is open. Let's say in this situation, if we open a buy right here, we would sell somewhere here. Now, this actually allows us not to make a very small profit. However, the opportunity is that we will have a very high win rate. And if we apply 5 to 7x leverage, we might have really nice numbers on the sheet. Now, if you're willing to take a full risk, you might want to wait for the new signal to appear. Let's say if you open a long position right here and you close it right here, you would be in for a 9% profit. Apply 5% leverage, and you are 50% profit for just one trade, which took you less than 1 day to do. Now, many signals appear like this. Even if you take this one and you sell here, you're an 8% profit. If you open this one, you sell here, you're an 10% profit, and you simply rinse and repeat. Now, some of the signals might result in some loss. However, again, if you apply some stricter risk management and maybe you combine it with an additional indicator, you will have even a higher chance to succeed. Now, basis for this strategy is actually cycles on a smaller time frames. And before we go to cycles, I want to advertise this page. This is my newsletter where I talk about cycles completely for free. If you want to learn how I find out about cycles, how I see Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies perform using cycles, you simply go to strategymaster.io, subscribe for the free newsletter, and you will get price analysis of altcoins and Bitcoin every single week, 2 to 3 times per week. If you want access to these signals that you can see on the chart, all you have to do, you have to go to strategymaster.io and simply get a subscription. It costs just €46 or $49 a month. After you get it, you'll get access to this indicator and bunch of other ones on the higher time frames, and you will be able to apply these indicators yourself on the screen without any help. Now, I would like to present one by one the indicator that actually play a huge role for this strategy. The first one is a 30-minute cycle. The 30-minute cycle, that's exactly what it says. It shows a very short price movement. For example, it shows a bottom right here, and it shows the top right here. What happens in the price? For a couple of hours, we go up, and then we go down once we reach the top. Same happens in the price. However, it only catches this very short movements, and trading using the 30-minute cycle indicator can be very hectic and very risky. Look, here we didn't reach the top. However, we started to fall down. So if you only use one indicator, you can suffer a big loss, such as this one. The second indicator that plays a huge role is the 1-hour cycle indicator. Let me just put it in the chart so it looks much better. Now, the 1-hour cycle indicator is basically the same indicator, but shows price movement for the next hours. For example, here we can see a clear reversal and also a bottoming pattern, and we go up. We reach 80 and we can expect a downturn. Now, using this indicator, you already have some better opportunities to actually make money. However, you still want to combine it with something better. Look, here we spent so much time under 20. However, we went up and nothing happens. We actually broke down and we started to go down. The real buy signal came here, the first one, and the second buy signal came here. So, in order to improve this strategy, I also use the 2 2-hour cycle indicator. And the 2-hour cycle indicator, for me, it's the most important one. I'm going to zoom out the chart a little bit. I'm going to go to the left once again. You will be able to see that the short signals work particularly well on the 2-hour cycle. Whenever we reach the top on the 2-hour cycle, for example, here or here, it might be a good opportunity to short. We open the short and we hold it until the 2-hour cycle reached 20. So we go here and we go here, and voila, both shorts are profitable. And you made 1.5% in this trade, and you made 2.5% in this trade, and you rinse and repeat throughout many different trades. Now, as you can see, the basis of the strategy is actually the 2-hour cycle. It basically shows whenever the 2-hour cycle goes above 80, it's usually a good opportunity to sell. This is the most important indicator for this strategy, and as you can see, the strategy works perfectly well. Now, the 4-hour cycle shows the price movement within the next 1 day to maximum 2 days. Okay, here it's showing that we're going up, and here is it showing that we're going down. So in case we are actually having a buy signal at the very top of the 4-hour cycle, it might not be the best signal ever. Now, the 4-hour cycle and the 12-hour cycle, they really work good in tandem. Let's say if both indicators are falling, it identifies that the short-term trend is actually bearish. Now, buying in this range is actually quite risky. We should wait at least until the 4-hour cycle goes below 20, goes somewhere here, and we should only take these signals. This not only saves us from a potential downside, but it identifies a higher risky trade. This trade is definitely a higher risky trade, and we sell pretty quickly. Why? Because then we have a further downside. Now, the 12-hour cycle works perfectly for shorting. Whenever it's dropping and we have a sell signals, it is usually a good opportunity to short. We simply short here and we close the position here. We make a profit of 13%. Apply 5x leverage, you're in for more than 60% profit in just one trade. Now, the 12-hourly cycle also saves you from potential downside. As you can see here, the buy signal came at the very top of the 12-hour cycle, which shows that we might be approaching a top in the short-term top, and it might not be the best opportunity to buy. Now, what happens right after we buy, we go to the upside, we actually make about 2% profit, and the chart is simply screaming you to sell, because if you don't sell, the 12-hourly cycle tells you that we are most probably going to see more downside, and that's exactly what happens. We are going down. So what you have to do in order to stay profitable with this strategy, you have to use the buy and sell signals and combine them with the cycle indicators down below. So all you have to do, you have to go to strategymaster.io, get the subscription for 46 euros or $49, put the cycle indicators on the chart. It will take you just 1 minute or 2 minutes to complete, and also add this strategy right here. I'm going to give you access within 12 hours after purchasing the subscription, and you will be able to trade and make profit on your day number 1. Now, the last cycle that I wanted to present is the 3-day cycle, which shows a general midterm trend. It shows where the market is moving within the next 2 weeks. I usually tend not to long whenever the 3-day cycle is falling, because a falling 3-day cycle usually means bearish conditions. This is bearish conditions. So all these buy signals that you can see right here, sure, they are actually profitable, which is super interesting, but they're much more risky to take. For example, these signals, they're not really good, because we can see that the 4-hour cycle is falling, the 12-hour cycle is falling, and the 3-day is at the top. All you want to do, you want to long when the majority of the cycles are actually going up, and you want to short when the majority of these cycles are going down. That's how you preserve your capital and make profit. Now, the best way of how the strategy works is actually in a sideways market. When the market is boring, when your spot positions are basically doing +5 to -5% every single day, this is the best market for this strategy. You can see that we have every single short and every single buy signal profitable. You open short when you see a sell signal, and you open long when you see a buy signal. You don't risk more than 1 to 2% of your capital, and you simply rinse and repeat. If you want to find the perfect place for shorting and longing cryptocurrencies, you have to go into the description down below, and you have to click this link. You will get up to 10,000 deposit bonus for a very simple deposit. So you deposit $1,000, you're going to get $100. If you're going to deposit $10,000, you're going to get $1,000. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to actually trade with your money. You simply deposit your money, but you trade with the bonus until you're profitable, until you're sure about your capabilities of making money. And then, of course, you can use your own capital. I like BTCC because they have up to 500x leverage, which I don't use, and they even have more than 300 crypto pairs. And that's actually what you want. When Bitcoin and Ethereum is boring, you want to jump into Solana, Polygon, AVAX, or any other cryptocurrency. If you have any questions about the strategy or you want immediate access, comment down below. See you in the next one.